This afternoon, we're here to speak about the way that we use mood when we are using English grammar. This is slightly different to the way that we use mood when we do creative writing. So, when we speak about mood in grammar terms, it is when the writer or the speaker represents the intention of the actual sentence. And when we are trying to work out the mood of a sentence, we need to look at the way that the verb is used. Now, I'm sure that you have all learned about the different forms of the verb when it comes to creating tenses, but the different forms of the verb also help us to create different moods. And from this, we can then work out what the sentence is indicating. So it could be that the sentence is giving a request or an order. It might be a suggestion, a fact, or it could be that the sentence is about something that is imagined. Now, these different sentences are linked to the mood. And when we speak about mood in grammar, there are 5 different moods that we use. We use the indicative, imperative, interrogative, the subjunctive, and the conditional. So before we look at the sentences to try and work out which mood is being used, we need to understand what the 5 moods are. So the first one, the indicative, this is the most common mood in English, and it is used a lot to express your facts, your opinions, and general statements. It is also used um, as a positive or a negative. So I could say the grass is green. It is giving a fact. I could also turn it into a negative by saying the grass is not purple. The same as the statement, I went to school on Friday. If it didn't happen, I can turn it into the negative. I did not go to school on Friday. So these sentences, they can be positive, they can be negative if something didn't happen. So moving on from that, you have the imperative, and I'm sure that you will have used this when you have written instructions in school, but it has other uses, and it's when you're giving commands, when you're giving orders. It might be that you are giving a warning, or it could be that you're making a request. And these type sentences, they use the infinitive form of the verb, but they don't have the word to before it. So it is like the base verb that you are looking for in the dictionary. And I'm sure that you have heard imperative verbs when you have done instruction writing at school. So switch on the lights, you've got the switch on as the imperative part of it. Close the door, close would be your imperative verb. Then you've got the bottom one, take off your shoes, please, is more kind of a request that the person take their shoes off. So you've got the different uses, and then be careful, it's a warning of what the person must do. So that's the imperative. And the next one, I'm sure again that you will have learnt about, the interrogative. This is when you ask questions, okay? So if you interrogate someone, you are asking them questions to try and find something out. So in this type of sentence, you may use your 5W question, but you might also have your um, auxiliary verbs as well. So, do you, can I? They are using the auxiliary verbs alongside that main verb. So, do you want to? The want is main verb, and do you is kind of showing that it is the question. So when you are using the interrogative, it isn't just the W questions that you are looking for, but a big indication of the interrogative is obviously the question mark at the end, because it shows that it is asking a question. Now, the next two are probably the most difficult, because the subjunctive mood, it is used to discuss your hypothetical situations as something that may not be possible. You're also expressing wishes. You may be giving suggestions or making demands, and it's also used to explore the conditional situations. And we'll speak a bit more about conditionals later on. But the first one, hypothetical, I wish I were famous. And notice how the verb changes. So if I was making a statement, I would say, I wish I was famous. Because this is subjunctive and it is like hypothetical, I have to change the verb from was to were. Okay. The same here. I suggest he wear something warmer. If I was making it as a statement, I would say, I suggest he wore something, or suggested he wore something warmer, or I suggest he wears something warmer. So with this, you're using the base form of the verb, even though it is third person for that sentence. And then again, my father insisted that I not be late home. If I was doing it as a statement, I might say, my father insisted that I was not late home, rather than I not be late home. The final sentence on the screen here is the conditional situation. So if I were you, I would study for the test. So you are giving someone advice, but you are using the conditional if I were you. So you you don't say if I was you in your subjunctive mood, you would say if I were you. So that kind of links to the next mood, the conditionals. So when we are speaking conditional mood, it indicates the conditions that something will or won't happen. And when we are using the conditional, we often have the subordinating conjunctions, so if or when. And you may also have the modal verbs, you would, you might, you could. And they are things to look out for when using the conditionals. So here, you will get to the meeting. So will is your modal verb, and the condition is if you leave home by 9 o'clock. So if is indicating the condition that they're going to get to the meeting on time. Okay, so with your conditional, the first part of it is often a statement. The second part of the sentence, the subordinate clause, is giving the condition that you're going to meet that statement. You don't have to attend school. That is my statement. The condition that you don't have to attend school if you are sick. So that's the reason that you're not having to go to school. And then you can go to the park, and the condition that you can go to the park when you have eaten your lunch. So you have to eat your lunch before you're able to go to the park. Okay. Now, if I switch back to the previous screen here, if I were you, I would study for the test. So you've got the end part of it here. I would study for the test. That is the statement part of it. And if I were you is your subjunctive mood that gives the kind of conditional part of it. Okay. So just be careful with if I were you or if I was you, because if I was you would become the conditional mood rather than subjunctive mood. Okay, so let's have a look at the sheet that you have. So the first one, I'm looking here, what is the time? So I'm looking at the sentence there, and I've spotted two things. I've got the question mark at the end, and in this case, I've got the what is as my question word. So the usage of it is asking a question, and the mood that is used is the interrogative. Then next one, I wish that we were to have a puppy. Now this one, because I've got I wish, shows that it is indicating my hopes. But if I say I wish that we had a puppy, I'm making a statement, and that would be the indicative. But because I've got we were to have, that means that I am using the subjunctive rather than the indicative. So this one, it is indicating a wish, but it is in the subjunctive rather than just making a general statement that I want a puppy. Okay, so the next one, please feed the cat. I've got feed as my verb there, but because I have the please part at the beginning, I'm making a request rather than a demand. So if I'm making a request, that would be an imperative, the imperative mood within that sentence. Now the next one, it is snowing heavily. The is the main verb, and it is giving a statement. It is telling me what the weather is like. And again, this was the most common one. So the indicative is making those statements. Now the next one, if I finish my homework, I will watch a film. So this part here, I will watch a film, is the statement part of the sentence. If I finish my homework, that is the condition that I am able to watch the film. So this sentence here, the usage is showing the condition of the action. And because it is showing the condition of the action, it is a conditional sentence. Okay. Now, looking at the next sentence, I've got do I have to? So that part there is questioning, and I've got my modal verb there, and I've also got a question mark at the end, so I know that it is asking a question, and if it is a question, it is using the interrogative mood. Okay. Now, the next one is using a bit of a strange verb there. It is better you finish the task by tomorrow. So I've got the base verb here. It is better you finish the task. So that is giving a desire. It's what they want to happen. And those sentences that give those desires, we are using the subjunctive mood. Okay. Now, the water is cold. I've got the auxiliary verb linking the water to the temperature. That is giving a fact. It is telling us that the water is cold, and that because it is giving a fact, that is the indicative. Then the next one, turn right at the traffic lights. So I've got turn is the verb part in there. It's telling me what I need to do, so it's giving me an instruction. And those sentences that give instructions, they are the imperative sentences. And the final one here, we will meet you when we next come to London. So we will meet you, that is the statement. When we next come to London, that part there is the condition of their action, and the when is linking the meeting to the time that it's going to happen. So when we next come to London, it's the condition of the action. And like the previous one, the condition of actions, it shows that it is a conditional mood. Okay, so I will save that part so that I can send it through to your parents. I hope that you have found it helpful this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing all of you again soon. Thank you very much for your hard work today. Bye.